Hey guys, it's Kyle from MAPerformance, and today we're going to walk you through the story of how we were able to make 500 horsepower on our FK8 Type R. So to achieve this goal, we used a number of the parts that we sell here at MAPerformance and manufacture for the FK8 Type R, but we also partnered with our friends over at Hondata and PRL, and they sent us some goodies that helped us achieve this goal. From PRL, we received their drop-in P700 Turbocharger, as well as their overpipe, intake, and flex fuel kit. From Hondata, they sent us a complete Hondata fuel system for the FK8 Type R, as well as utilizing a Hondata Flash Pro to calibrate the car after we were done installing all these mods. So the first thing that we're going to install is the turbocharger and the inlet pipe. Now, I have removed the turbocharger on this car a few times during our R&D process, so I'm going to help you guys with the install. This isn't a full guide, but I'll kind of walk you through the steps as you see them on screen. So as you can see, the first thing that I like to do is to take off the center section of the core support. This gives you much more room to access everything. Once I've got that out of the way, we'll remove the turbo inlet pipe. That way we have clear access to all of the turbocharger bolts and all of the hoses. Once we have the turbocharger off and we have all the oil and coolant lines out of the way, all of our old gaskets removed, we can start transferring over the parts that we need onto our new P700 turbocharger. So as you guys can see, we obviously got the turbo out. Something we noticed when we took it out, definitely had some debris or something go through there at some point. I'm leaking oil and stuff all over my hands. So definitely warranted a replacement / upgrade. Things like this are going to be some of the hoses, as well as the electric wastegate that is connected to the car. And once we have all that attached, we can go ahead and start reinstalling that onto the car with all of the new gaskets that PRL provides. Once we have this out of the way, we can move to the PRL titanium inlet pipe. Now this piece is beautiful and it's super flashy in your engine bay, and it is a breeze to install, and PRL gives you all the gaskets and all the hardware you need to do this. While we were installing this turbocharger, we thought it would be a good time to refresh our exhaust system just a little bit. The last time we put a downpipe on this car was actually when we were doing the R&D process here in-house for our own downpipe. So the downpipe that was on the car was quite old and honestly kind of ugly. So we went ahead and pulled a brand new one, just like you would receive off the shelf if you purchase it from our website, MAPerformance.com. And went ahead and threw it on there. It looks beautiful, it looks great. Our old one had a bunch of sensor bungs and a bunch of ugly, dumb stuff in the way that we used in the R&D process. So this kind of just cleaned the engine bay up as well. So as you guys can see, last time we talked, we were still working on the turbo. Now we are moving towards the fuel system, so there's gonna be a little jump in the action here as we went from here to now we're to this point. So I just got the intake manifold off and it's just set down in the bottom of the car. We're going to pull that out and then we can work on doing the direct injectors and then the high pressure fuel pump and then button it all back up. Hondata provides a set of high flow direct injectors as well as a high flow fuel pump and a fueled line. Also, an option in this kit, depending on where you purchase it from, is a low pressure fuel pump, and we'll get to that a little bit later. The installation of the direct injectors is a little bit of an overwhelming task, but once you really dive into it, it's not so bad. You'll have to remove the intake manifold, and with this, you will likely have to uninstall your intake and charge pipe to get everything out of the way and give you some room. But once the intake manifold is out of the way, you have a decent amount of room to get in there and remove the fuel rail, the injectors, and the stock fuel line, as that will also be changed with the Hondata fuel system. Once we got all that out of the way and got our new injectors installed, we went ahead and put in the high pressure fuel pump. It installs very easily. It's at the top of the engine. It's clear access, and there is a pigtail adapter harness that will need to plug into both sides of the pump and to your wiring harness to mate these two parts together. Once you have the fuel rail and the fuel pump reinstalled, you'll need to install the high pressure fuel line that goes from the fuel pump to the fuel rail. This is a part that is included with the Hondata fuel system that you need to install to ensure, one, the system connects correctly, but also ensure proper fuel flow. PRL also sent us their high volume intake, so we went ahead and threw that on the car as well. With our new fuel system, turbocharger, and inlet system installed, we're going to talk a little bit about the parts that you won't see on camera us installing, because we did these at a later date. Initially, we didn't install the Hondata low pressure fuel pump as it was unavailable to us at the time that we received everything else. Hondata has very good instructions on how to install this kit, and it is a worthwhile upgrade if you are upgrading the rest of the fuel system. Another thing that PRL sent us was their version 4 flex fuel kit. This is a very nice piece in your engine bay. It fits very well, and we definitely needed the help of a little bit of ethanol to get our car to 500 wheel. The last part that you didn't see us install that we wanted to touch on was an intercooler. We opted to install our prototype MAPerformance intercooler that should be releasing soon. However, if you visit our website, MAPerformance.com, there is a boatload of FK8 Type R intercoolers available for sale right now. Now that we've got all these parts that we installed covered and out of the way, we're going to go to the real test of it, and that's putting the car on the dyno and actually calibrating the engine so it can use all of these shiny new parts to their fullest potential. What you gonna do? With our setup, we opted to use a little bit of ethanol. The content that we landed on in the end here, and I'll touch on it in the dyno footage, was an E50 mix. We found this to have the highest horsepower potential versus a straight E85 mix that would require a little bit more from the fuel system for roughly around the same amount of horsepower. So as you guys can see up on the screen, we hit our goal of 500 horsepower, starting to reach some limits of a couple things, and also I think any more power in this thing is going to be maybe a little bit too much to drive. So 500 horsepower and 412 foot-pounds of torque. I know that like around 450 foot-pounds, things start to get a little bit unhappy in the engine. Yeah, the car seems to work totally fine. Had some issues to go through, some spark plug changes, and then also changing some stuff with the fueling. Originally, what you guys saw me do in the video was obviously the drop-in P700 Turbo and then the Hondata fuel system, but what we left out of that, one, because it's not very interesting, and two, because we didn't have it yet, was the drop-in intake fuel pump. That as a limitation ended the first like dyno session, I guess you could call it, at 425 horsepower and 365 foot-pounds of torque, with pretty much the exact same curve, but just shrunk down. I think super great power numbers. The car should be a blast to drive. I mean, even at that 425 horsepower range, would probably be more than enough, but 500 is just a little dollop of daisy on top. So guys, if you like this video and you liked seeing us turn up some cars a little bit and have some fun, let us know in the comments. I definitely enjoyed every step of this video. It was a fun experience from just wrenching on the car and also flexing some of the brain muscles and doing some tuning on the car, something I definitely enjoy. So please let us know if you guys enjoyed watching this content, because we would love to do more with that, guys. Visit our website at MAPerformance.com to buy any of these parts that you saw in the video. Let us know what you guys want to see us do with the car next time. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.